I bought into hundreds of buildings for about $50. Woo! Apartments, warehouses, data centers. You can too.
You can do it!
I did it through a REIT. Everyone knows that real estate investing is the greatest way to build generational wealth, but most people can't afford the buy-in. You need a down payment. You need financing. You need good credit. And that's where REITs come in to save the day. In this video, we're going to cover what a REIT actually is, how REITs make money, the different types of REITs, and fourth, my own personal 6-step method for not losing your ass when selecting a REIT. My name is Rob. I'm a real estate entrepreneur, a former mergers and acquisitions attorney at a top 10 Manhattan law firm, a former faculty member at a top 8 business school, and it is my goal to get you rich smart, not quick.
Brilliant.
Together, we're cutting through the fake gurus and the influencer bullshit to teach you how to become wealthy the right way. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. It's basically a corporation that owns real estate but trades like a stock. So you buy and sell shares of a REIT just in a normal brokerage account like a Robinhood account, the same as you would buy and sell shares of Apple or SpaceX. REITs have ticker symbols, they have financials that are disclosed, just like any other stock. But with REITs, you get a piece of a corporation that owns a lot of buildings. And these can be apartment buildings, medical offices, data centers. You get the idea.
We are for the money.
REITs make money in 2 different ways. First is through rental income. And rental income is the lifeblood of the REIT. Remember, no rent means no business, means no money. So you need to know if the buildings are leased. You need to know if the buildings are empty, because empty buildings don't pay investors. And we don't like when we don't get paid. The second way a REIT makes money is increases in property value. If the REIT owns good real estate in good locations, you can bet that that value is going to go up, which means the value of your shares are going to increase. Woo! So here, we need to know whether the REIT owns real estate in up-and-coming locations or in dives. We want to buy REITs with properties concentrated in up-and-coming areas because more population means more demand, means more rental income, means more money for us.
Oh, yes.
All REITs are not the same. A REIT that owns data centers is not the same as a REIT that owns shopping centers. And you need to know the green flags and the red flags to determine which REITs are great and which REITs are crap. Lucky for you, I put together my great REIT cheat sheet that shows 8 different types of REITs, what to look for, and more importantly, what to watch out for. So let's start with the apartment REITs. These guys earn money through tenants paying monthly rent. So we want to find high occupancy, rising rents, a good job market, but be careful for new construction surges and falling rents. I would also add regulatory issues to that as well, because in New York State, it is impossible to evict a residential tenant. Second, we've got industrial REITs. These are your warehouses and your distribution centers. Think Walmart, think Amazon. So we want to look for it near cities and ports, and also where there's a ton of e-commerce demand. Watch out though for slowing economies and way too much supply and build out here. Third, we've got our retail REITs. These are shopping malls and shopping centers. Be really careful here. You want to look for anything with grocery stores, but anything else with retail is on the decline. So watch out. These things haven't been hot in nearly a decade. Fourth, we've got healthcare REITs. This is a honeypot. Healthcare operations will pay the rent, and we have an aging population, and they get long leases. That said, be careful about operator problems and a lot of lawsuits. Private equity got into this space about a decade ago, and they've been throwing Granny off a cliff and getting sued every second for it. Next, we got data center REITs. These are the hot topic about 5 or 10 years ago, and now there's so much money in it, it may be too crowded a space. There's real AI demand. However, though, there is so much hype and such high power costs that the smart money's already in. Next, we've got cell tower REITs. These are just your cell towers, so watch out for carrier consolidation and slower network speeds. But growing mobile data and longer leases are nice on these. Next, we got self-storage REITs. These are a honeypot to own. Look for high occupancy and pricing power. But watch out, there is a ton of competition in this space, and sometimes demand can be weak locally. Finally, we've got our office REITs. These things spell trouble most of the time. Medical offices, okay, sure, people still need doctors, but watch out for remote work and empty buildings. These can actually kill you. So a good REIT usually has 5 qualities: useful properties, reliable tenants, manageable debt, a dividend that the business can support, and smart management. Let's go through each one of them one by one. First, useful properties. I want you to ask yourself, if I had the money to own these buildings, would I really want to buy them? If the answer is no, or if the answer is maybe, don't buy the REIT, move on to the next one. Second, reliable tenants. Who is renting your spaces? Do they have a track history of paying their rent? Or are they a bunch of bums who are constantly in and out of court for non-payment? Third, you want manageable debt. And this one is huge. If a REIT has too much debt, or if it has to refinance that debt when interest rates are getting higher, that means a loss of income for you and me, the shareholders, and we probably don't want it. Fourth, dividend support. Can the cash flow still support that dividend? Because if it can't, that dividend's going to get cut and you and I are out a bunch of money. Fifth, management. REITs are not just buildings. It's people making decisions with your money about what to buy and what not to buy. Do they have a good track record of buying good properties? Or are they a bunch of bums that can't make a good decision to save their life?
This sucks. Change it.
I've been investing in REITs for more than 25 years, and I've made a lot of money doing it. But I have also lost my ass more times than I'd like to remember. And whenever you lose your ass in any investment, you tend to learn a thing or two. So here's my 6 steps to selecting a REIT so you won't lose your ass. Step 1, find out what the REIT owns. Is it apartments? Is it medical offices? Is it data centers? Step 2, ask whether or not people actually need that real estate. Do people still need medical offices? Probably do. But do people still need to make it a blockbuster night? I wish, but no.
Make it a blockbuster night.
Step 3, check the occupancy. Full buildings collect rent. Empty buildings don't. Step 4, check the tenants. If the REIT lists its major tenants, look at them. Do a deep dive. Are they strong companies? Is the tenant base diversified enough so that you won't lose your ass if one tenant leaves? Step 5, check the debt. Does a lot of the debt come due soon? Will refinancing decrease cash flow available to you and me, the shareholder? Because if a company borrowed really cheap during 2020 or 2021 and now has to refinance at higher rates, you can bet your ass that we're going to be losing some money on that dividend. Step 6, check whether or not the dividend makes sense. Is the REIT generating enough cash flow to support that dividend? Because if it isn't, you know what? That dividend's getting cut and we probably want to stay away. In fact, if any of these answers don't work for you, then move on to the next REIT. Don't buy. Do not compromise your standards ever, because a disciplined investor will always do better in the long run than an impulsive one. So now you know the secret to how $50 can buy you hundreds of buildings. And since you stayed for this long, I'm going to give you one other little secret about REITs. By law, a REIT has to distribute 90% of its operating income to you and me, the shareholder. That means that we are much more likely to get ourselves a dividend and some nice positive cash flow from a REIT than many other investments. REITs make real estate more searchable, more understandable, and just more investable and manageable for regular people like us. So I have some homework for you tonight. I want you to go out there and pick one REIT. Don't buy anything. Just pick the REIT, any REIT. Ask yourself and answer the 6 questions that we just went over. What does it own? Who rents the space? Are the buildings full? Is that type of real estate in demand? How much debt does it have? And is the dividend actually supported by the cash flow? Then I want you to drop the name of the REIT and the answers to your questions in the comments below, and I'm going to give you a deep dive on my thoughts on that REIT for free. Always remember that real estate investing can start out much smaller than you think. My name is Rob. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.